The reality is, most men really don't know what makes women want men. We know what magazines say, we hear what our boys tell us, but honestly, we're guessing and hoping we get good results out of the information we think we know. But I'm going to tell you that the research doesn't lie. Today we find out what science says makes her want you. Some of these shock me, and I can guarantee you haven't heard of some of these points before. I'm not going to keep you waiting. Let's get it. Women judge less on looks than men. In a 2007 study performed in Europe, men placed more importance on a woman being attractive than females placed on the attractiveness of males. Of course, women still want you to be on point, but that's less important than other factors such as socioeconomic status and resource acquisition characteristics. The reason this is the case is because regardless of what you may hear as narrative on social media, women still default to our nature, which is the idea of the man providing resources in the relationship. Taking the concept of women being even less judgmental on a man's looks even further, in another study in 2013, women in a speed dating event were even less selective when other attractive women were in the room. There are some things around appearance that matter to a woman. The results from a 2012 study show that women typically are more satisfied when their partners are about 8 inches taller. You don't have to be 6 feet tall, bruh, just taller than her on average. What you learn here is that women choose men based on lots of context. They consider competition, how they think they look, how a man can provide, and other factors before they consider how attractive a man is. On the other hand, we are often concerned with being attractive just because we judge women on how attractive they are. The key takeaway is that being attractive matters, but not as much as other features and characteristics that you bring to the table. Women care about status. So that's a newsflash, right? Of course you know that women often care about social status. I mentioned previously that socioeconomic status matters to a woman. This is important, but status is more than just climbing the corporate ladder or owning your own business. Status is also about provision. A man with a higher perceived status can more likely provide for a woman and her family. If you're trying to develop all of the right attributes to find the perfect woman, it's fair to consider your social status and your socioeconomic status. Consider that there may be a specific group of women or a specific woman you would like to get to know better. It's likely there's a certain status to that group. They could be members of a sorority or members of a social club. They want to know that you have some level of status to say, okay, he understands who I am and what I do. He can hang in my circle. Fair or unfair, when you want to attract women, you want to consider your status and how this appears in how you show up. Here's one you may not know. Alpha males are not preferred in long-term relationships. So first of all, it's important to note that humans do not have alphas and betas in our social groupings. We'll have another video on this topic later. But since we often use these terms to describe men, we'll use them here. A study with 100 men and 100 women concluded that women prefer men who have beta-like characteristics of warmth and trustworthiness over the more cold yet attractive alpha-style personality for long-term relationships. Again, in a study in 2007 of over 200,000 participants, to pick the top 3 traits you would look for in a mate, women selected humor, intelligence, honesty, and then the next 2 were kindness and values that were also close to the top of the list. Although these traits are not beta-only traits, these traits often fit with men that some would say are less assertive than alpha men. The opportunity here is to understand you don't have to be the guy that the internet says gets all the hot girls. You want to be the best version of yourself and being okay with being funny, intelligent, honest, kind, and a man with values. Check this out, bruh. Women will be attracted to you and the science says so. Again, the science doesn't lie. This is what has evolved over time. Women have some of this behavior stored in their DNA. Some of it's due to environmental factors, some due to cultural norms, and some due to tradition. Whatever the case, if you take a moment to understand that women are not as complex as we make them out to be, you can be attracted to women in general, and you can attract that specific woman you want. You know, there's a saying in sports, take what the defense gives you. It means essentially, if the defense is giving you the wide open jump shot, take it. Or if the cornerback's playing 10 yards off, take the 7-yard route. The defense, so to speak, is telling you what she wants. Now it's up to you to make it happen. When you listen to the science and go after what you really want with the new knowledge you have, she'll know it as soon as you lock eyes. That charisma was always your superpower.